Alright guys, today I'm going to do a video about taking a bit more control back over what's going on in us and our surf dialogue more importantly, and I think this is going to be linked to some of the other videos I've done, so if this is the first one you're coming across, check some of them out because I'll explain a little bit of this a bit more. We use a lot of words that are sort of negative and without even realising it, like for example the word can't, which is where we often say, oh, I can't get a good job, or I can't meet somebody, or I can't get over this, and then it's kind of stopping it and leaving it dead in the water, and no one's going to do anything about it if they say can't. It's like magical thinking. Should, another one where it's often setting a standard for ourselves that's too high. We're not going to reach it. A should normally will lead to disappointment. If you're saying that they should be doing that, it's an expectation which will probably lead to you being disappointed. And if you're saying should, then you're setting a standard for yourself that's often too high. You're not going to beat it, and then you're going to feel bad about it. Sometimes as well, I've noticed a lot in therapy, people use you statements, so that someone would say to me, you know when you get angry, when someone does that to you, and you know when you get angry, and we're saying it and it's a way of getting validation, because sometimes somebody will say that to me and I'll say to them, well, no, that wouldn't make me angry. I wouldn't be angry about that. You're angry about that. So rather than saying, you know when you get angry, what we need to be doing is saying, I get angry when this happens. And then we take responsibility for what it is that we're doing. So these are only small things. I mean, it's only going to be a short video and I'm going to elaborate more on them. But for now, I just wanted to get this out there. But is another one. When we say but, we often remove anything that was said before but, and then whatever's after it is what we take on. So normally when we're evaluating ourselves, this is another thing I hear a lot, and I'm guilty of this one myself. Could say, I did really well at that, but that was really bad and I was really poor at that. And then we're not going to take on the good part of it. We're only going to be listening really to the bad part of it. The good part is forgotten. So really what we want to do is replace the word but with the word and. So, because it's fair enough to say that we fuck things up because we're human. So we say, you know, yeah, I got that wrong and I got that right. Or I got that right and I got that wrong. Whatever. It's a more of a sort of a balanced way of seeing ourselves rather than condemning ourselves. Now, as I say, these might seem like small things. I don't really think I need to give loads of examples about these. But another one is luck, actually. A lot of people say, well, I'm unlucky with this, I'm unlucky with that. I'm unlucky in love, I'm unlucky in the job I get, I'm unlucky in the people I meet, you know. But really, what you could say is, let's take the lottery, for example, yeah? You know, yes, you've got to buy a ticket to be a part of the lottery, but other than that, you've got 6 random numbers that are going to come up, and there's nothing you can do about it at all. You cannot affect it in any way other than buying the ticket. There is nothing you can do. So in that situation, you could say that if you win, you're lucky. Yeah? But if you say that you're unlucky in love, that's not necessarily true, is it? When you think about it, maybe you haven't met, like circumstantially, haven't met the right sort of person. Saying it's unlucky, a lot of people say, well, I'm just unlucky in love, and they define themselves as being unlucky in love, which isn't very problem solving, is it? It's not something that says, well, okay, well, why would you consider that you're unlucky in love? What's happened that's gone wrong? Where do you think it might have gone wrong? We often fall into the blame game of, well, she was like that or he was like that and I couldn't make it work. But what if that was something to do with you as well that you're not seeing? So then it's sort of looking at things realistically. This is the whole point of these videos, is to help you look at things realistically. I get a little bit frustrated looking around online. I see a lot of this positive thinking is the answer, and you know, as I said before, like 10 reasons for this, 5 reasons for that, 6 ways to do that, 12 ways to do that, and it leaves you feeling worse. And I joined a couple of Facebook groups to try and post these videos and see whether there was anyone in there that wanted any help. But before I did that, sort of, you know, I'd done a bit of lurking to see what the group was all about. And I'll tell you what, you join them groups and you ain't depressed when you join them. You would be when you leave them. You know, I decided in the end not to bother posting the videos in there because I thought most of the people that I could see in the ones that I joined, which was there's only 2, you know, very, very negative. Everybody wanted to pile on the misery. There wasn't many people that were saying, look, okay, look, what are we going to do about this thing? Come on. Or you had the other person that came in and said, well, it's all going to be all right. Well, how's that going to change anything? Like someone saying to you, it's all going to be all right. That is not going to be the answer. Because if you feel suicidal or you're sitting there with thoughts going around in your head that make you feel like you're fucking going to die, someone's saying, oh, don't worry, mate, it's all going to be all right. How's that going to help? It's just going to be more frustrating, especially when you realise that you can't just change it like that. So yeah, basically the point of that is be careful with them groups. Be careful what you read online. I know that might sound a bit weird coming from someone who's trying to do like helpful advice videos. But at the end of the day, you've got to be careful because there is a lot of bad shit out there that I've seen. And kind of a bit naive to this, really. I suppose doing these videos has exposed me to the online world of the mental health field, and you know, it's a bit of a worrying. I'm seeing a bit of a worrying trend in a lot of places actually with it. But yeah, I mean, also going back to the video, I put a quote up the other day, which came from a session that I'd had with a client, where basically he had been in a bad family situation, but actually dealt with it very, very well. He was very, very adult about it. It was a fallout with a member of his family over something he'd put on Facebook. He was very adult about it. The other person had sort of basically shut him down and said, no, 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 I'm not having any of it, and not engaged in an adult conversation about it. And this guy was trying to sort of make himself feel better by looking at what was wrong with the other person. And the other people, well, you know, he should have done that, he should have done this, he should have done that. And of course, he's not feeling any better. We sat here and we were talking through it. He's not feeling any better because he's trying to find his strength in the other person's fault or what happened wrong with the other person. But actually, his strength's already there because he dealt with it in an adult, respectful way, and he can hold his head up high for that. But he wasn't even seeing that. It wasn't even on his radar. What was on his radar is what everybody else had done wrong, and he was thinking he was going to feel better because of that. Because eventually, if he can convince himself that that person was so wrong, it's got to make him right. That's not how it works. He was already okay. What he'd done in the first place was already okay. And that strengthened him. When we talked about that and kind of built that up a little bit and looked into what he had done well and how he had done that and what that means about him and what a great way it was to approach the situation and how he could help other people with that if he ever got into an argument with someone else who was actually a bit more sensible. You know, very empowering. The guy left there feeling a lot better than he did when he came in because he's looking at things more realistically and he's looking at what he can do and not what the world around him is, the problems that that's causing for him. Alright, so I'm going to stop this video now anyway. It's been a bit disjointed, I know, but as I said, I'm not going to edit things, so bear with me on it because I've got a lot to get out and sometimes I don't really plan these videos, so sometimes they take off on a bit of a different tangent and yeah, I know that sometimes I need to reel it in, but anyway, I'm going to come back with another one soon, alright? Take it easy guys, see you later.